Welcome back to the Atypical Hunter podcast. I'm Chris Begbie, and with me as always is a man who some say has seen The Little Mermaid over 3,000 times, the slippery when wet Kyle Mork. On this episode, Kyle and I are talking about my 2 days hunting this season so far and the absolute bumbling buffoon that I am. I'm learning very quickly that moving in the dark with heavy equipment on my back doesn't go well with water and thick brush, and also not to forget your safety harness gear. All in all, my first 2 days hunting on my own have been quite the experience with a ton of opportunities to learn, and Kyle and I are heading out in a few days for our first hunt together, so hopefully 2 idiots are better than one. Hope you enjoy. Happy hunting. So you're doing a morning hunt on Sunday?
Morning hunt on Sunday, yeah. And then, so I don't know if, because my dad doesn't really know how to use the tree stands too well.
What do you mean, like how to climb up?
Yeah, like he's used
I don't
them
either.
once, so I might set him up in the blind somewhere, wherever we see, and then either sit with him and film, or go off to another tree depending on what we see on Friday night.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And Sunday's supposed to be a good day anyway, weather-wise. It looked like. What do we got? We've got high 56, low 38, no wind.
Yeah, that's gonna be real good.
Especially with no wind. Sunrise is at 7 though, so it's later. Do we get a late sunrise here? I thought we had an early sunrise here usually.
I don't know. We get it when we get it.
Yeah.
Comparatively to anywhere else, because I've been all over the place, so I never really paid too much attention.
That'll be good. Has he gotten out at all this year yet?
What's that?
Has your dad gotten out this year yet?
Just to Texas. So he really doesn't get out deer hunting too much.
Yeah.
My brother and him went to Wisconsin last year, but this year
for rifle?
No, for bow. But it was during the rifle period too.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, well, they were on private land, so I don't think it was so much of an issue. But I opened up that blind that my dad was using before, and clearly it was during rifle season because he's got the orange things up on the side of it.
Gotcha.
They're just Velcroed on, so we'll have to take those off. We bring them with us.
That's cool.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be a real good day. I'm a little bummed I can't go on Saturday or Sunday, really. I mean, Sunday's even cooler in the morning, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got friends in town this weekend, so Friday evening will be ours, but we might get a little wet on Friday night.
That's okay. I like the rain out there. I've always had really good success in the rain.
Have you?
Yeah, mostly in Texas, but I've seen stuff when it's when there's some precipitation most of the time, especially if there's precipitation and then it stops, and then things just seem to come right out of the woodwork.
I don't have any experience in that, so I'll take your word for it, but it has been super wet where I've been going, and it's completely changed everything.
Okay, so how were your first couple of days up there?
The first one was pretty miserable, to be honest with you.
With the heat?
With everything, man. It was my first time going out to a stand that I have to hang myself and lugging everything in and trying to get to the spot that I wanted to get to, and yeah, it was last Tuesday, opening day, and it was 87 degrees and sunny, so it was nice, but it was just fucking hot. And so I'm walking out. I pull up early. I was the second person there, which blew me away because I was there at 4 a.m. It opens, you can't get there before 4, legally speaking. But it doesn't really matter. But so I got there at 4. I couldn't sleep the night before. I was like
Christmas Eve?
Basically. I was just running through my head. Do I have everything ready? Am I taking too much stuff? Am I taking too little? How am I going to bring everything in? Is everything going to work that I had set up? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be able to hang the stand in the middle of darkness, which I've never done before? And all this. So I'm just thinking about it, and then I woke up at 3, and I was like, I'm just leaving. I'll just get there. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I might as well just go. So I went, got there, saw some guy walking out before me. And then I knew where I wanted to go. I marked it on both Onyx and HuntWise. I was like, all right, I got a path. If one of these doesn't work, the other one will work. It'll be good to go. I'm walking, and it was probably, where I was going was probably about, what was it, 1.7 miles in. So it wasn't a short walk by any means. Like it was,
As the crow flies, or were you kind of switch back in at all?
as the crow flies, basically. So I mean, actual walking distance was probably a little bit longer trying to get there, but I didn't end up making it there because it was about 2 feet underwater when I got there. I mean, it was dark and like I'm walking and I get off the trail into kind of like just a field of tall grasses, and I'm not really looking down right where I'm about to step. I'm kind of looking ahead of myself, looking where I'm supposed to be going, and I like step down and my knees up in 2 feet of water, basically.
But didn't you get new rubber boots for your birthday?
That wouldn't have covered it. Regardless, I wasn't wearing them because it was so hot, but the water would have been well over that. It was literally. I mean, I'm 6'1", so I'm not short, but it was over top of my knee.
Gee.
Walking through.
So was it like one step dry and then just boom?
And then it was just like down into water, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, that was not there the last time I was here.
At least it was hot when that happened.
Yeah, I mean, if it was cold, that would not have been fun.
Yeah, I had it with my brother when they went up to Wisconsin. He stepped right in it.
So I'm like, all right, here's a bunch of water. And to kind of backtrack a little bit, I mean, I had scouted it in the summer, and there's definitely tall grass there, but it was definitely not as tall or as thick as it was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The last time I was there, and I tried not to go back to, just not leave any scent there or let deer know where I'm going to be going or anything like that. And I'm thinking I really should check this a week before to see what this looks like right now. So I couldn't make it to the area I wanted to get to without. I mean, I was making so much noise, like you could have heard me a mile away.
Plus swearing.
Yeah, well, like I'm like fumbling through the water, like brambles or briars are catching me, and I'm like falling here and there and making so much noise. I'm like, this is just a horrible idea. I need to get out of here. So I made a 90-degree right-hand turn, found some higher ground, found a tree that was overlooking a couple areas that were dry that I thought deer might be bedded down into, and I set up there, but the tree itself that I was in was underwater, like the bottom of it was. So when I was setting up, like my stand is in the water, my bow is just laying underwater, like 2 feet down. I mean, it was an interesting experience for sure. But finally got up. It took me forever. I got up there, and I didn't see anything for the whole morning, basically.
And you didn't hear anything either?
Not in the morning, no. But I mean, I could see forever. I was glassing around. Didn't see any movement. Yeah. I mean, I saw a crap ton of geese and ducks and turtles and snakes and stuff, but no deer.
You saw a lot of snakes.
Yeah, a lot of them were dead. They were mostly dead. I wonder if they drowned and then like gotten washed into the path or something.
That might have been the case, yeah. Because you put Insta
so
video. There was like 7 or 8 snakes.
Yeah, and that was only in the beginning. Like I didn't record the ones walking back from my night sit. So I sat all morning. I didn't see anything. I was kind of hoping just to dry off at that point. I was just sitting there for 6 hours. Went and got some lunch. And I was like, I need to find a new spot. So then I was flying blind because everywhere I had marked was basically underwater that were bedding areas. And like, well, they're not bedding where they can't be dry. So started looking around for other areas, and I found one overlooking another field. And then I sat there until about 6:30, something like that. And I got wheezed at probably like half an hour before dark. But that was the only sign of deer that I had the entire day that day. That was a long day. I mean, that was the first time I'd done an all-day sit. I mean, granted, it was in 2 different spots in the same kind of area, but it's boring, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do the all-day thing anymore.
No.
In the heat like that, at least.
No. I know. I either like doing morning or evening or a big gap in between.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're out there, I think if you're out there in the middle of the day, I think you're just doing yourself more harm than good. Like that Vortex Nation podcast we listened to, which we need to get that guy on because that guy was. That was some good info.
Whitetail Habitats guy.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We listened to that podcast after my all day sit in the 87-degree weather, and it was basically like, yeah, Chris, you're a dumbass for.
But you didn't know. I mean,
and I was excited. It was opening day. I was like, this is the first time I'm gonna go out here. And I was really excited because I put a lot of effort into scouting and finding deer sign and be like, I'm pretty positive this is where they're going to be.
You did. I was thinking back about like where you're at now and where you were like when you moved in.
Yeah.
And even when we were walking the dogs the other day, like, oh, there's a deer track, and I'm like, I'm not even seeing this shit. Like, oh, he must have been running here. I'm like, where? All right.
Yeah, but that doesn't. I mean, that's what's frustrating is because I feel like I've learned so much in my short time, but then I saw nothing. Like the first day, so that was a little frustrating. And then we listened to this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, like don't even bother going out unless it's after either a major weather event or it's cold, basically."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, fuck me. Like, what am I doing out here? That was stupid." So that was a failure that I learned a lot from. So that was good.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. This year may just be a bunch of those days where you're just learning stuff.
Yeah, maybe. And the weird thing is, I mean, I ran into maybe 6 other hunters that day that were going to different areas, like either at the gas station or there was maybe 3 that were like walking out while I was walking in again for my second sit. And no one saw anything.
No.
So it made me feel a little better that I wasn't like this lone moron out there that wasn't seeing or hearing anything.
Yeah.
But, you know, I heard the one wheeze, which, you know, at that point I was thinking to high heaven after sitting outside in almost 90-degree heat all day. I was like...
At least there's deer in the area, right?
Yeah, but my scent control there was pretty much gone. So, yeah, I learned a lot from that failure, but I did consider it a failure because I didn't see or prepare properly. I feel like I don't know if I could have foreseen the river flooding the way it flooded and everything else being covered in water where I was trying to go, because I was trying to hunt like a riverbed basically,
right?
Or like next to a river. But oh well.
Well, I mean, you made a good call because of the heat. I mean, even from the beginning, you knew you were going to be in early season, and when you were doing the e-scouting and everything, like, I'm going to look at all these areas that are by water.
Right.
So you made the right call. Now it's just a matter
Well, I thought I made the right call. Hindsight would have been maybe mark more high ground to see where they might be going when it does flood.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely consider that next time. Like, if we have a lot of rain, I'm not going to hunt the lowland. I'm going to be looking for more elevated areas.
So that makes it not a failure then.
No, I still think it's a failure, but you can learn from failure.
Yeah.
Because a success to me that day, I mean, I didn't achieve my goal, so I consider that a failure. And I was talking to my buddy about this on Saturday night. He's like, well, it's not a failure if you learn something. And I was like, but I didn't achieve my goal, which was to see deer. Didn't have to be like a buck, but I just wanted to like be on deer. And I didn't do that. So like that part I failed at. Doesn't mean I didn't learn anything. I learned a shit ton from that day.
Yeah.
Which was good. Like if we have a ton of rain again, I'm gonna be hunting more elevated areas, or at least find areas that are low that lead to a high area, that they can seek respite from the water in.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
So definitely learned a lot, and then went out again Sunday morning. So 5 days later, and it was a lot colder. It was a different area, which was higher. I know I shared it with you as like a kind of like an not really an overlook point, but it was definitely 15 feet higher in elevation than the other parts of the area, where there's definitely no water there. It was bone dry compared to everything else. And then I screwed up royally getting to the stand in the morning. I was so loud again. It was ridiculous. I was trying to go to the area like on Onyx and Huntwise. There was kind of an access road, but it was completely covered in like tall grasses and saplings and things like that. And I was like, I wonder if I can just scoot through the woods more quiet than I would if I went down this access road.
Yeah.
Not moving all this grass around. So I'm trying to do that, and that was the wrong call.
Yeah.
I mean, my strap broke off my tree stand pack, like my tree stand straps. One of them busted off because it was getting snagged on stuff all the time.
Oh, it was real tough tall grass?
Oh, it was hard. Going through the woods was worse. I mean, going through the woods, so I was
like... Oh, that's right, yeah.
Going through, like, branches and briars again and all sorts of stuff. And I had to, like, low crawl under a bunch of stuff to get there, and, like, it was so stupid.
Yeah.
I should have just parted the grasses and made a little bit more noise instead of going the other way that I went and made like 100 times more noise. So learned a lot there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was flying blind at that point and just wondering if I could have made it a little bit better if I went through the grass. But I finally got to generally the area I wanted to go. There's a decent setup.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's overgrown right now, man. Like in the woods right now. I guess it's because of all that water or something, but it's just hard to see anything. Like there's not really any shooting lanes anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The deer have everywhere to hide. The deer have everywhere to hide, and it was just rough. I mean, it was definitely better setting up my stand this time.
Mm-hmm.
I was more efficient at it, which was good, but I definitely need to make changes to my stand and my setup again.
Yeah.
I mean, my straps broke, so that sucked.
Yeah.
I need to get new ones of those because it's a heavy stand.
Yeah.
And then just like the string I have to pull my stand up once I get up there is too long, so it catches on everything. And then like same with my bow, like my bowstring's too long, and that catches on everything. And then like an arrow came off my quiver as I was pulling my bow up, and like all this like crazy like stupid shit's happening where
Like
I'm
a calamity of different things happening.
Yeah, and it's like because I've never done it before, I don't know the best practice yet. Like I know generally how it should work.
Yeah.
But then when I'm doing it, it's like shit. I shouldn't have done that. Like I hooked up. The way I was pulling my bow up, the bow was upside down basically. Mm-hmm. So like the quiver top was facing towards the ground,
right.
And the fletchings were up.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling it up, and like an arrow catches on a branch and pops it right off the quiver. I was like, God damn it! Like I should have hooked it up the other way.
Yeah.
But like no one told me that. I didn't think about that at the time. So like now I know.
Yeah.
I won't do that next time. And then I realized the way I pull my stand up, where my rope is hooked on, that's upside down too. So when I pull, the top part folds open.
Oh gosh.
And then it's like a full unfolded stand that's like pulling a bunch of branches up and everything. Which like no one told me that, and I didn't think about that ahead of time. And it didn't happen in the first hunt because I wasn't in an area that was like super like covered in brush where I was pulling the stand up. Like it didn't matter really.
Yeah.
So yeah, that got caught, and like I mean, I basically pulled a whole tree out of the ground, pulling my stand up into the tree this time. It's like, oh my God.
It's like when you go fishing and you drag your lure through like the seaweed.
Yeah, exactly. You just pull like a whole seaweed monster. That's basically what was happening, and you know, like this is causing so much noise. Like it's not efficient in any way, shape, or form,
mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'm just screwing myself. And then I'm getting super hot and sweaty because I'm pulling all this heavy stuff around and nothing's working right, and like I was drenched. I was covered in sweat. Like I wore my base layer and just a light jacket because it was 50 degrees. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely jacket temperature, and then I'm sweating my ass off.
Yeah.
And then I have to like open up my layers because I'm so sweaty, and then I start to freeze, and then I'm sure you can smell me because my sweat and like odor is getting out because I'm unzipping
emanating everywhere.
So I'm like, this is just like not a good situation. So I only sat on Sunday for, I sat from sunrise to about 9:30.
Yeah.
So like maybe 2 hours and 40 minutes or something, and I didn't see anything, and at that point I just said screw it. I'm gonna get down and if I see something, I'm gonna bring my bow. I packed up my stand and my climbing sticks, and I set them down next to the tree, and I grabbed my bow and just kind of wandered around to
mm-hmm.
see if I could find anything. I didn't see any deer, but I did find some new bedding areas and like a bunch of deer poop, which was good. It was definitely fresh deer poop.
Good.
Which was nice. So there's deer there. I think I just probably scared them off with all the noise I was making.
Maybe.
Or whatever it might be. And so then I walked back and I realized that access road, which I had avoided with the tall grass, there is like a game trail that you can follow to get to where I wanted to get to that I couldn't find in the dark that morning. And it took me like 5 minutes to get back to the car.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what we're taking on Friday?
If that's where we want to go, sure. Yeah. It's a different area than the one we had talked about, but we could definitely go there if you wanted. So I've definitely learned a lot in my, let's see, I was out the first day for like 14 hours, and then maybe 6 hours total on Sunday morning. So 20 hours out in the woods hunting right now. Definitely learned a lot, which is good.
Yeah.
And the first day was super frustrating, but it was almost like frustration was leading to like fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to kill deer so badly right now.
Just because you were so frustrated.
Oh, I was so frustrated, and I'm like, I'm putting in so much effort here. Like I was exhausted on Tuesday when I got home. Like getting through the water and getting to my stand and getting to stand up, and then sitting. Obviously, it's not tiring. But then back into the afternoon, I was trying to find an area I'd never been before, so I didn't know the best access way to get there. Even though I was looking at OnX and like just fighting with the. I mean, the stand is heavy. Like,
your stand is definitely heavy.
Which I'm realizing. Like I put weight in my backpack last night and went on a ruck, and that was probably like 40 pounds. And it feels way heavier than my 40-pound weight in my backpack does.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, probably because of how it's shifting around.
It's probably because it's way more cumbersome and like it's snagged on stuff. But I mean, walking 2 miles in that through woods, which is what I did the evening sit on Tuesday. I mean, I was smoked.
Yeah.
Like it was like pulling on you. It was like walking in quicksand for 2 miles basically. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's a pain. I've experienced that in Kentucky, and then went on to the public land once in the Kentucky, and it's just everything's just pulling, like you said. It's just like you're walking against resistance all the time.
The entire time.
Yeah, and your stand isn't huge, but it's frustratingly outside the outline of your body.
Right. Yeah. See, I don't always know what it's going to be touching and what's not going to be touching. So.
And you can't put your head all the way back either, right? So your head's like flat up against it. So it's just restricting your movement and frustrating.
Yeah, it's like one of those things linebackers wear to keep their heads from.
Yeah, what is it, collar guard or whatever?
Yeah. So there's just a lot of learning curve going on right now. Yeah. And I was like looking this morning at like lone wolf stands. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I want it. I was like, just for the lighter and more streamlined profile.
So is this that point in the podcast where we say, Nicole, if you're listening, that's what Chris wants for Christmas?
Yeah, probably.
See Kyle for the link.
Yeah, probably. That might be a really good idea, actually. Because it's just a pain. And then the strap breaking, I mean, that was like halfway into where I was getting to. Yeah. On Sunday morning, and having only one strap made it even more difficult. Because I'm like carrying it like a woman's purse, basically, like on the side of my body, like it's dragging me down. It was not comfortable.
I didn't realize that strap broke. I thought you said you left some straps in your car or something.
No, sorry, yeah, I'll backtrack, but that was Tuesday. I left my lineman's rope and my safety harness tether in the car. So, I didn't have that to hang it the first time, which I realized it's so much easier with a lineman's rope. Yeah. It's so much easier. I mean, you have two hands. I was like, I mean, a ton of people have done this, but, I'm like leaning my head against the climbing stick against the tree to hold it against the tree, and then wrapping one arm around the tree and the other arm around the tree to try to get the ropes and then cinch them all together. And keep balanced and not die. And trying not to fall off. And it was like, I feel like such a buffoon out here right now. Like, this is definitely not the way to do this. Yeah. And I felt very jealous of anyone that has a tree stand already set up that you can just walk to. Yeah. Like that. You just walk right up and... that's how you're quiet, because like if I didn't have all this crap with me, you could be silent. Yeah. And like that's how you do it. But like I'm definitely figuring out that access is huge for us right now if we're going to be bringing in our own stands and stuff. Yeah. Access, and I mean there's definitely difference in gear too. Yeah. Like straps. Sure. I mean, because the straps for your sticks, are those ratchet or are those cam over, or what are they? Or it was like pinch cam. They're like it's like a pinch cam, but it has the button thing. Right. Which are so much easier. Yeah. Than my tree stand, which is just a regular ratchet strap. So you have to like thread it and then ratchet it down. But the button ones are so easy because you have the one loop that's on the button. You wrap it around the tree, hook that loop to the button again, and then tighten, and like it's done. Yeah. It's so much easier. I mean, I could do that with one hand basically. Yeah. Whereas the tree stand, I have to it's hard even with the lineman's rope because I feel like I need 3 hands. Like I need to hold the stand up and then reach around with the strap, get the strap, continue holding the stand up, and then thread it and then ratchet it down. No, like it's not easy.
I know I've seen some like life hacks that people do where they almost hang the stand on like they put like just a rope up with a hook and just hang the stand
on the
at the
hook
top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they do their straps.
That's not a bad idea.
That might be an option because that's what I'm gonna do with my stuff, with my bag at least.
Yeah.
Because I mean my platform's in my bag, but I'm gonna need to kind of mess with it a little.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe because then it would take all the pressure off you to hold the stand and get the straps ready.
Yeah, and you could hug the tree, let it and do your thing.
That's not a bad idea. So yeah, it's right now it's extremely frustrating, but like I want to be out there more than ever now because I'm like learning what I should not be doing and what to be doing now. And like I want to go today, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go today. Honestly, it's kind of hot today, or it's going to be warm in the evening.
It's going to be warmer. It's going to change from cold to warm. Yep. So this may not be be one of those days to save.
Yeah.
Put a little bit more time at home today.
Yeah. Which is good because I finished all my school stuff last night, so I have one day of freedom from school before the next class starts tomorrow.
Oh, it starts. I thought it started next week.
No, tomorrow. Well, one of them starts next week, but I'm doing another class. So those that don't know, I'm getting my MBA from University of Illinois right now, and it's very draining. But yes, I've just finished my 2 classes last night, and then I'm doing one class that starts next week. But then I'm also doing like a half class. It's a month-long class instead of 2 month-long.
So that's accelerated.
It's like there's not that much material in this one.
Okay.
It's like part of the focus that I'm doing, and it's just not that much stuff.
Yeah.
But I figured I'll just do it now.
Yeah.
And get it over with. So yeah, that starts tomorrow and it goes to November 9th.
Yeah. I mean, you're knocking out. I mean, this is hunting related because you got to balance it with hunting, but I mean, you're knocking out these classes kind of effort. I mean, you're definitely going hammer down.
Yeah.
And you're knocking out these classes. What seems to be to me effortlessly. I mean, inside I guess your emotional intelligence is pretty good because you're not showing it.
You're not. It's definitely not effortless. It's definitely the most disciplined I've ever had to have been with time.
Yeah.
Because it's like each class is probably 7 hours, 8 hours a week.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So throw an additional 15, 16 hours after work in. That's a lot. I mean, it's a few hours every day.
Yeah. But you don't bitch about it. Not once.
To you.
Yeah, well, maybe.
To my friends in the program, I bitch about too all
the
time.
Yeah, because that's the commonality. That's more for conversation than anything else.
It's a lot. I mean, but Nicole and I we're having a baby in March, a little girl, and
I wasn't sure if we could talk about that.
Yeah, that's fine. And I want to get as much done before she comes along as I can. So that's like the goal right now is to finish as much as possible, which sucks because I'm hearing it from Nicole, like how am I spending my time? Like you've already got what she considers a hobby in the MBA program, which is like you're spending 3 hours a night at least on your MBA program, which we're not together essentially.
Yeah. And
then you want to go hunting for 6 hours on a Sunday? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
This should be family time. And like, yeah, I know, but I gotta figure out how to balance it. So like tomorrow, I don't have anything to do tonight, which is nice. And tomorrow I was like, I'm not gonna do any school. We're gonna go stroller testing. And
nice.
Go out to dinner, kind of get some time there, which is good because she's just craving time. Like I've been kind of putting her on the back burner lately, which is not good. So I gotta balance that. Like the guys on that Vortex podcast were saying as well. Just go on days that are worth going on, and don't go on days that aren't worth going on.
Because you sacrifice everything else. Like,
save you some headache.
Yeah, people sacrifice work, school,
the
relationship. Like, hunting is awesome, but it's there's other things you got to do. We're not hunting to survive at this point.
Right. And the problem with what I'm going to be preferring, which is going to be evening hunting, because I can freaking see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be bumbling around like a moron, making a ton of noise. Problem with evening hunting is that's like right in prime time of wife time.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't care if I wake up at 3:30 in the morning and I'm gone until 11. Like, that's not that big a deal. Like, she's only missing me for 2 hours then, basically. Because she's not really doing anything until 9 o'clock anyway. But the evening time, which I'm going to much prefer, I imagine, that's going to be right in her like, why aren't we having dinner together?
Yeah.
Conversation time, you know.
Yeah. I think we're hitting a sweet spot with the Friday evening.
Yeah, that might be good. And as it gets darker earlier, it'll be easier because you can't hunt after dark anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it gets dark at 5:30 and we don't kill anything, then we're gonna be home by 6:30, and
Exactly.
like there's no big deal.
Exactly. And our wives live across the street as well.
Yeah, so they can entertain each other, hopefully.
They can keep each other company.
But I'm definitely leaning towards the evening sits now, just because if you have to call an audible and like go to someplace else, like you can see what you're doing.
Exactly.
Where basically the two problems I ran into my first 2 times going out in the morning was I had to call audibles because either it was a new area that I was never been in, or I needed to find a new area because my area was underwater.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, you have a few minutes to make a decision looking on your maps, and you're like, all right, this looks okay, I guess. I'll go try to get there.
Let's just wing it.
Yeah, and see if I can get there, and both times it's not worked, and I don't want to do that again if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be more prepared.
Yeah. It's definitely easier to be quiet in the evening, especially, like you said, you can see where you're going and everything.
Well, then you can also see line of sight because, I mean, you have a headlamp on, which I've also learned is probably not good because deer can see that coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
But like you can see a line of sight that a deer might see, or like you can see the whole field as opposed to just 20 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
Which has got to make a huge difference, especially when you're in the woods. I mean, the trees cover any moonlight, so you can't see anything anyway right now with the leaves still on the trees. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of telling myself early season has probably got to be evening hunts.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe as it gets later into the season and leaves fall off the trees, then mornings wouldn't be bad, and you're making less noise because there's less plant life. Everything's dying away.
Right.
But I don't know why didn't anyone tell me these things ahead of time?
If I knew, I'd tell you. If I knew, I'd tell you. I mean, it's been years of going out at the wrong times. Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, I used to go out like December on, thinking that was hunting season. So up until a few years ago, I didn't even realize that November is prime time.
Yeah,
so.
I'm really looking forward to November. I mean, it's starting to get colder. This weekend's going to be, pretty cold down there. 38 degrees in the morning is pretty chilly, so that'll be good. I mean, it's getting up to 56 in the afternoon, but if you're out there in the morning, it'll be cold.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And you got picked in the lottery too.
Yeah, I've got my firearm tag for Illinois this year, which is good. I'm still debating whether or not, this is, very forward looking, but if I don't get a bow deer by then, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Either way.
I'll think about it, but I really want to get one with my bow.
Yeah.
Because that's just like so much, there's so much more that can go wrong, I'm realizing. I mean, even another stupid thing that happened. So like, I brought 3 arrows out on Sunday, which is good, because the first one fell out as I was climbing into the stand, pulling my bow up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had knocked an arrow and had rested it, just under my leg basically, and then the arrow fell off the tree. So I was like, oh, it's a good thing I brought 3, because then I had my third one.
You better make that first shot count.
Right. It's just comedy of errors over and over again that I'm learning what to do and what not to do. So yeah, Friday will be interesting. And the one thing that I'm finding is the difference between mapping systems that I've got. So I have HuntWise and Onyx.
Mm-hmm.
And Onyx seems to be better for marking locations and being a little bit more specific on where you want to go. But HuntWise is really good with some extra stuff. Like it may not have as many features in terms of marking locations, in terms of specificity of like this is like scat or some sort of other mark like a shed or something where you can specifically change colors and label it differently in Onyx. But HuntWise does really good wind testing.
Okay.
And like you can set ideal winds, and it'll tell you what the wind is going to be like for a particular day according to weather forecasts for your stand spot, not like the county.
Really?
Which is really cool. Yeah, I'll pull it up. Obviously, if you're listening, you won't be able to see this, but
check out HuntWise.
Yeah, check out the HuntWise webpage. and like plug in your wind in, like where your wind would be. So like you can click on your spot, which is a place in Displays that we're thinking about on Friday. And then you click the get hunt prediction or get hunt cast prediction, and it'll tell you when and where to hunt, basically depending on what your ideal wind is. So like this spot here is it's a northwest corner of a old ag field, basically, surrounded by woods. So you set like that would be a southerly wind, southwestern wind, and then whatever. It keeps going around, and you're like, all right, if the wind's blowing the wrong way that day, don't go to that stand. And then you can select the time and day of which you want to hunt there, and it'll give you the likelihood that deer will be around based on like temperature and barometric pressure and all sorts of stuff. So like Friday, when we go out there, it's saying that at 10 a.m. is probably the best time based on the wind direction.
Okay.
And rain and stuff, but it's not bad in the afternoon around 4 p.m. because the wind's still good. It's a little bit warmer, but the wind's a little stronger and barometric pressure is a little bit less.
And that rain should knock down our scent a little bit too.
Right, but it's really cool with the wind. I'm going to definitely use that because, the other day I was sitting in my stand and the wind was just was going away from me to the area that I was overlooking. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, why am I sitting? This is not a good tree to be sitting in right now.
You just need to look a different way.
Yeah, exactly. But
to turn your tree stand around.
I'm gonna be using this way more because it's very specific to like where your stand is as opposed to just the general area. Like instead of having to think, okay, well I'm in the southwestern area of this field, how's the wind gonna affect me? It's easy just to like pull up the HuntWise app and be like, oh, this is where the wind's going to be. I shouldn't sit here. I should sit there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that.
Something like that, which is cool. Which, if anyone from Onyx is listening, you guys should definitely incorporate something like that. And if you are with HuntWise,
thank you.
Thank you. It's a really cool feature. Just get your markings a little bit easier on Onyx level, and you'd be top notch for sure. But it's a pretty cool feature, the wind thing. I think I've been looking at that a lot the last couple days, which is pretty neat. But I'm excited about Friday. I think Friday's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Go to a different area. It's going to be cooler, and we should have a good line of sight. Not too much growth and relatively easy access from where we need.
Oh, did you mark that access road, or is that?
That's the path I marked out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just gonna say we should start marking our paths if we're having some issues. But
yeah.
So there's that ag field. So what we're looking at is, like Chris said, there's an agriculture field there. Is there anything growing there at all?
It used to be old corn.
Okay.
But they had cut it, so you've got maybe like 6-inch stalks there right now, and then there's just random plant life kind of growing in between.
Oh, so there might be some food sources right in there.
I'm hoping. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm hoping this is a good area. There's water all around it. There's good bedding areas in like the northwest area,
okay,
and directly above where I'm thinking our stand would be.
Okay.
Which is cool. So I'm hoping, we'll catch some deer in transition coming from the ag field, and then going back to bedding in the evening.
Okay.
Or vice versa, depending on if they're going out to eat in the nighttime. So it should be good. I'm excited about it. It's a new spot. I'm trying to go to a new spot each time and maybe recycle them every few weeks or something like that. That way I'm not
learn
there.
a little bit about each one.
Yeah. And really at this point, I really just want to get ready for the rut.
Yeah.
And kind of know where I'm supposed to be, or where you and I are supposed to be. It'll also be different on Friday because you'll be with me. So we have to think about how we want to play that,
mm-hmm,
like partner hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Because that can be a huge advantage, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or it can really screw you.
Yeah. Well, we just got to be cognizant of the wind, it seems.
Right.
Like you said, because at first I was like, well, I'll set up north of you. And you're like, well, if the wind.
Yeah, if the wind's blowing right at you.
Yeah.
They're gonna smell me come to you.
Yeah. It almost seems like if you set up. So if we're looking at pretty much a rectangular agriculture, ag field. It's almost like I'd have to walk down around the long way and come back in.
Right.
Or cut across the cornfield. Like cut it dead across the cornfield.
Mm-hmm.
Which might actually, yeah. So cut directly through here and just go up to like here or here.
Yeah.
And stay out of your wind. But yeah, that's definitely like with what we're looking at. There's a bunch of arrows going where the wind is and everything, and it does make it easier to figure out like, okay, if Chris is gonna set up at this stand, then I need to avoid those arrows,
right?
Or where those arrows are. We need to stay out of that. Once he's set up,
right?
We need to stay out of that.
Yeah. So I mean, it changes. It changes all the time. Like yesterday, it was not. This is coming west southwest right now, and it was more like this going just directly north yesterday. Like it was a straight south wind going north. So it's changing every day basically. So we'll probably have to look at that, just right before we get out there to see what's happening and then adjust accordingly. But it is a really cool feature, and I think it could be a good spot. If nothing else, I mean, I saw a sign there in August. And I bumped a couple deer out of there, so I know there were deer there.
At one point. So there could potentially be more deer in there going forward.
But it's been fun. I mean, it's been miserable and fun at the same time.
Yeah.
Like Tuesday sucked, but I learned a ton from it, which was good. Sunday was a little more enjoyable. It was a little cooler. I wasn't soaking wet, which was nice. My feet were just completely drenched for the entire day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of wishing I could get out there as much as possible without being able to do that. So I have to figure out how to balance everything.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool. And you're hunting with your dad on Sunday.
I'm hunting with my dad on Sunday. So yeah, it's figuring out the same thing.
Yeah.
Might be logging into HuntWise to figure it out if we're gonna. That might determine whether we're both gonna be sitting in a blind to hunt out of. Because my dad's not the best. I don't want to put my dad in a tree stand because I don't want to go to the emergency room that day. Because he doesn't really get a chance to practice the tree stand too much.
Well, it's definitely not easy. I mean, we're pretty young. I mean, I'm only 30 years old. You're 35. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, it's not easy hauling everything in and strapping it in and getting up into the tree stand.
Yeah, even with my gear, you're carrying a lot in there. And
the ironic thing is, like, the safety harness and straps and everything, it makes you more safe, but it's also a lot harder to get in and out of your stand sometimes, I find.
Yeah.
Because you have to like get around your stand to get into it. So like you're strapping and unstrapping, making sure your rope's not getting tangled in something.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want to fall out of the tree, but you also want to get into your stand easy.
Yeah. I feel like those are things that just come with practice. Like those become second nature after a while.
Which, I mean, so I've hung my stand up now 3 times in the field, not just in my backyard.
But we're gonna put Versa buttons on yours.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to install those somehow.
Yeah.
Onto that cheap stand that I've got. I mean, the stand is fine itself. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of actually hanging it. That's been a little bit cumbersome.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure out some best practices around that. But I'm excited about it. I mean, it's a long season. No one else I've talked to has really even seen or killed anything other than Bowhunter Chronicles guy.
Adam from Bowhunter Chronicles put down a buck.
Small buck, which was nice to see.
Yeah, and then my buddies down in Kentucky put one down.
Adam's in Illinois though, right?
Adam is in Michigan.
Oh, is he? Oh, I thought he was in Illinois.
Yeah, they're in Michigan.
Okay. Alright, well I don't feel bad then.
Yeah, Illinois.
I haven't heard any Illinois deer going down yet.
No. There probably have been, but nobody that we know. And that's all that matters.
That's right. Within our little realm, no one is winning or losing yet.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. It's a long season. I want to be ready. We'll be ready for the rut for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we don't get one by then, I wouldn't be super upset. But I definitely want to get one then when it gets colder. So plant life is dead. Mm-hmm. Easier to see and
it'll be less pressured because I've in foresight I took a lot of Fridays and Mondays off at work.
Yeah.
So
it's a good plan. That's a good plan, but I think it's going to be a good season.
Absolutely.
I may have to adjust my goal from 3 deer though. I'm finding that might be a little lofty.
shoot for the moon, land amongst the stars.
Yeah, maybe two. Maybe two. Nicole's like, why don't you just get like 1 doe and then call the season. I was like,
That's not the way it works.
I don't think so, honey. But it'll be good. So if you're listening, let us know how you're doing out there, or if you have any tips for any of the calamities I'm bringing upon myself. I'm sure we'll have more on Friday after Kyle and I are out there. Sorry for a bit of a gap between episodes. There's been a lot going on, and hunting is taking precedent over recording right now. So
something's got to give.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get them out as frequently as we can, but be patient with us in the meantime, and I'm sure we'll have good content. The more we're out in the field, it'll be better listening to. But as always, make sure you are commenting or liking and subscribing wherever you're listening to our podcast, and make sure you're following us on our Instagram page at Atypical Hunter. And happy hunting.